Just a second. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to our Sunday call. I am warning you now, there is crazy weather going on for a lot of us. And so if we somehow lose power or you see lights go out, just keep going, okay? If the call doesn't drop, just keep going. So I know Sarah and I are both kind of in the crazy thunderstorm part of the country right now. But I have seriously been looking forward to tonight all week long because we have Sarah Taylor with us. And I know I've been advertising her all week. She is a diamond gold. So that is crazy. That means diamond, for those who don't know, that's the top level in our company. So she has already achieved that. And then she earned her second entry position. And she is already gold on that second entry. So that's crazy awesome. I'm really excited. I know she has some, not to like put pressure on her, but I know she has so much wisdom that she is bringing us just because she has been through it before. And you know, I just realized that I did not mute everybody. So give me a minute. Okay, I am muting you guys. And Sarah, let me unmute you really fast. Hold on, I tried to mute. Okay, now I think we're all muted. Okay, so I'm going to unmute you really fast. Okay, there we go. So I think you are unmuted now. I do want to let everybody know at the bottom of the screen there is that chat feature. So if you do have a question for Sarah, you can just go ahead and ask it there. You can send it to me and I can ask. You can post it to everybody, but just make sure to use that chat feature because it's awesome that we can ask these leaders in our company real questions because they're real people. And so Sarah, I'm just going to let you take it away, girl. And I know you've got more to say than I could possibly say. So go for it.
No problem. So I'm Sarah Taylor. Like Kendall was saying, I live in Houston, Texas. I actually live in North Houston in Spring. And I'll tell you guys a little bit about my story because I think it'll help you guys understand kind of where I'm coming from with some of the advice that I'm giving and kind of give it a little bit more of a real application for you guys. My goal is to give you guys some takeaways and some action plans from this to help move your business forward or, give you guys some new ideas. So I joined in February 2 years ago. I joined on the last day of February. And so I didn't make my first post until March. And I actually joined with no intent to actually ever sell the products or anything like that. I joined for a wholesale discount because I was battling depression and weight gain after having my kids, and Plexus had helped that straight off the bat, and so I knew I wanted to sign up. My husband is a financial advisor, and so he was like, you should just sign up for the discount at least, and then he's actually the one that urged me to post for the first time because he's a financial advisor, and he was like, what if we could get the products for free? So my whole intent starting this out was to literally just make enough, get 3 people or 3 customers to join me so that I could get my products for free. So started posting in March. I had a really good first month and didn't know about Fast Start Gold. But I ended up signing 19 people to my team, which kills me looking back. And so I missed Fast Start Gold, but I went gold in April. I went senior gold in May. Looking at my notes because I want to make sure I tell you guys the right dates. I went senior gold in May and then ruby in July. Well, when I hit ruby, I actually ended up sitting. That was my huge stall out rank. And I had a really, really hard time pushing past that. Ended up sitting there for 7 months and ended up going senior ruby would be next in February, and then emerald in May of 2014. 15. Sapphire in September and diamond in November. So once I went diamond, then I actually was able to re-enter my diamond position last month on the 4th, and I ended up going Fast Start Gold on my reentry position. So really, really fortunate for that. Tonight, though, my main focus for you guys is I want to talk to you guys about how I got myself unstuck from that Ruby position, because I think, you know, a lot of us get caught on that roller coaster ride, and it's really, really emotional when we start to stall out and we have all these big feelings of fear and self-doubt and everything that comes along with that. And I just want you guys to realize that everybody gets stuck. Everybody in this company has hurdles that they have to overcome and everything like that. But getting stuck doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are going to be stuck forever. It doesn't mean that you're not going to throw your team back into crazy momentum or anything like that. So hopefully you guys can learn from some of the things that I learned whenever I got stuck. So the first thing, of course, that I realized that personally I was riding momentum when because I ranked really, really quickly in the beginning. So I was riding this huge wave of momentum to Ruby. But what I hadn't been doing is I hadn't been training my team. I had not put in any kind of duplication process. I assumed that everybody was just like me, that they were just going to hit the ground running and it was going to be great and we were going to do this network marketing thing and we were going to go to the top. I had never done network marketing before. I had never been in a leadership position before. I'd been in management positions, but to me that's very, very different. So I was basically just managing my team. I wasn't leading them in a new direction. I wasn't seeing initiatives that needed to be rolled out before you know, things happened and that kind of thing. I was not training and duplicating and spending the time to train up my leaders or doing any of those things. So after I went through a big stage of blaming everybody but me for this stall out, I blame my upline. I'm just being honest, guys. Blame my upline, blame my downline. They all know this in my head. I didn't verbalize that to them, but it wasn't my fault in my head. This was not my fault. I knew what I was doing, and I didn't understand why I wasn't moving forward. So once I got past that, and once I started sitting down and really, really looking at myself and thinking, okay, where have I fallen short? Because I came to the conclusion that it had to be me that was causing this stall out, and it was. So I did a ton of personal development on leadership. I literally watched every video I could possibly watch. I sat down and I watched a lot of videos and learned how they taught people. Because I realized that training was really a downfall for me. I'm not a teacher by trade or anything like that. I'm a recruiter. I come from a recruiting background. So I had that part down pat. I knew how to get people to join me, but I didn't know what to do after the fact. So I went down that personal development path. I read lots of books on leadership and made it my personal mission to become a leader and to learn how to be a leader and to figure out how to turn the tide for this team. So then one of the biggest keys that I focused on after that was I focused on relationships. I focused on rather than turning this into, hey, Sarah's goals and Sarah's, why is being pushed forward, I turned my focus onto how I could help my team. And I think that was the biggest mental shift that I could possibly make to help myself move forward. And once I turned my focus onto my team and how I could help them reach their goals, lots of things happened. The first thing was that I focused on relationships with my level 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. I think building a really, really solid base to your team in your 1 through 4 is really, really key. I'm not telling anybody to ignore beyond your level 4, but don't just focus on your level 1s. So what I did is with my personal level 1s, and I don't want this to scare anybody, this is just where I was at and what I needed to do for my personal business, is I went and met with each of them one-on-one. Anybody that was local, that I had signed up locally, I took them out for wine. I paid for a happy hour. I took them out for coffee, whatever it took to sit down and to really, really get to know them. I wanted to get to know who they were, what was driving them, why they were signed up for Plexus, what their hopes and dreams and aspirations were, and really, really getting to know them. And then beyond that, I wanted to build a friendship with them outside of Plexus. So I really wanted to just build that bond, because a lot of my team, the people that I had ended up signing up, weren't necessarily my best friends. I knew them clearly. They were in my network, but it was people that I met at ballet. It was, it was all those random people that you end up signing up, and you don't necessarily know them that well. So I really got to know their strengths, their weaknesses, their hopes, their dreams, everything that they wanted out of Plexus. And then, so I did those one-on-one meetings. Then I did one-on-one calls with the people that I couldn't sit down and focus one-on-one with here in the Houston area. We did three-way calls. We implemented doing three-way calls. And I know that that is a scary, scary thing, but from that point on, we made sure that everybody was getting a three-way call that joined our team. So from moment one, they were building that relationship. They were, we were getting to know them. We were the same, process that I was doing, kind of backtracking almost with my team, we were doing with the new people that we were signing up. So one of the other things too is we did a team retreat. I hosted it outside of Austin, and we had, we've done 2 team retreats now, but it was so big in helping build bonds and relationships for sidelines, because I think sideline relationships on your team are just as key as relationships with your upline and that kind of thing. Because those sideline relationships a lot of times can give you better guidance than even an upline can, because they're not personally invested in your business, and those sideline relationships sometimes even end up holding people to the team when times get tough. So we did the retreats. We've done 2 so far. The first one we had 15 people come, and the second one we had 55 people come. So it was a really, really great turnout. We actually had to turn people away. We had to give a cutoff based on rank for the second one. But it was fabulous, and we rented out a big house and just spent 4 days building bonds, talking Plexus, and then we spent one whole entire day. I did an 8-hour training session with my team, which was incredible. I did it with some of the leaders on the team too. So I highly recommend doing something like that at some point in your journey. And maybe it's not right at this point in time, but keep that in the back of your head that you want to do, these just anything you can get together to gather your team together to build those bonds is really, really key. And one of the big things that I ended up doing too, you guys, I think it was really, really big. I picked out my runners and I said, okay, I know my strengths, and you can, at this point, I'm knowing their strengths and their weaknesses and that kind of thing. But we always focus on our strengths. Your weaknesses should not be your focus. You should get competent in your weaknesses, but you shouldn't be focusing on trying to build up your weaknesses. You should be focusing on your strengths within this business. So I found my leaders, my runners that I wanted to move this team forward with, and I put them in what I call my brain trust. It's basically my inner circle of leaders, and I built this incredibly strong bond between those people. There's about 7 of them. And we moved the team together. We moved the team forward together. It's not the Sarah show. These people help me plan out every single month that happens within Plexus. Every single month, every single initiative that we do, every single contest, every thing that we push out on the team page, we have discussed, and we constantly discuss throughout the month. So we're always on the same page, moving the team together. And the reason that works so well is because you're not having these competing initiatives come out. You're not having people feeling overwhelmed because there's so much stuff going on. Because a lot of times people end up getting added to 3 different team pages or something along those lines. And if you're having 2 crazy huge but competing initiatives that they have to participate in, or you're getting different types of contests and that kind of thing, if you can get everybody on one page moving forward together at once with the same goals and verbalizing the same things over and over again for that month, and you're getting the same message put out, you guys are going to move forward a lot more seamlessly and a lot quicker, because there's going to be no confusion. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody's duplicating the same way. Everybody's processes are the exact same, and they all have a voice. So those leaders have areas of strength where I'm weak. So I don't need to focus on my weaknesses. I can talk to my girl Hillary, who has basically the opposite strengths that I do, and she can help, bounce ideas back and forth, and we can come up with great ideas. So pretty much nothing on my team page is solely thought of by me. No initiatives that I push out are solely thought of by Sarah Taylor. It's like a conglomeration of brain trust of thoughts and ideas with our leaders. Because number one, that helps empower them. It helps to give them ownership within the business too, and it gives them a voice. It makes them kind of open their eyes to their team and keep their ears open to their team too, so that they're constantly looking for, okay, what does our team need? Do we need back to basics training this month? Do we need fast growth? Is this going to be a big rank up month for our team? One thing you'll notice with our team is that we tend to all rank up at the same time. It's like every other month we have huge rank up months for our entire team. We're all ranking at the same time because these initiatives are all pushing everybody kind of at the same speed. And I'll talk about pace later when we're talking about creating that momentum. But that was a huge thing that I did to get unstuck, because everybody then got on the same page and we're all pushing forward together the same way. And we have the same, you're able to cast your vision, you're able to impact the speed of your team really, really easily when you do that. And basically, you're just empowering those leaders, which, you know, the end result of all of this is you kind of want to work yourself out of a job. You want to develop these leaders into such strong, incredible leaders that you're basically not needed anymore, but you're still collecting that paycheck, right? Nobody wants to work for Plexus and be in, 10 years from now, still grinding it out day in, day out, working so hard. You want to get to a point, the whole point of network marketing is to get to that point of residual income where you're working yourself out of the job. So that's kind of the whole, premise behind that point. And then, as far as helping build up the leaders underneath me, at that point, I was like, you know what? My girls are kind of in the same boat as I am. We need leadership development on our team. We need a program, a solid program of leadership development. So I saw that you, Kendall, had asked about books and which books I like for personal growth. I love Strengths-Based Leadership. I think it's a really, really good book. The book that I actually use, because I think it's a really good, solid foundation for my team, is The 21 Laws of Leadership. We do the book study in 10-week programs, and I'm sure you guys have heard of this, but we do it every 10 weeks, and I have five people at a time that I just do this, and then my team duplicates that out. So I think in total we've at least done 10 groups of people so far. So I just do it one at a time, though, one night a week. You don't want to overload yourself, but that was a big thing that I did back then to pull myself out of that as well, because we were getting everybody on the same page then. So the whole, point behind that, I really, really focus on the relationships, because I think it's the backbone of our business. And I think if you can build those solid relationships on your team, you're really going to help move everybody forward. So it's a really concerted effort to get to know your team really, really well. But obviously the whole key behind that, I had to figure out how to get myself back into momentum, because I was actually in backward momentum. One thing I didn't mention is that when I got stuck at Ruby, y'all, I didn't sit at Ruby. I sat at Senior Gold. So I hit Ruby, then I went backwards. And I say that just, I want to be honest. I want to be real. It can happen and you can pull yourself out of it. I sat at Senior Gold then for 3 months, I think, before I hit Ruby again. And then I just sat at, that Ruby spot. So one of the things too, and I think that momentum really, obviously it starts and stops with you, but one of the biggest things and keys with momentum is pace. And that pace is set by the leader of the team. And so if you are somebody that is not necessarily moving at the fastest pace, but you're expecting your team to move at a fast pace, you really need to evaluate that. And now I'm not talking about crazy fast-paced recruiting on your end. I'm talking about activity, visible activity to your team. So showing up day in, day out. And I know that we all have bad days. We all have days where I don't feel like posting on my team page. I don't feel like doing a call. I don't feel like it, but it has to happen. You cannot take breaks and then come back, and take breaks and come back. So keep that consistency up, especially if you are leading a team. But then from a pace perspective on our team, we do a lot of unique things. I'm really glad to hear that you guys are doing the Silver in 7 Days challenge. That for us has been something that we have trained on for a very, very long time. We want to be a fast-paced team because we all want to grow fast. So setting that, you know, one thing that I kept hearing everybody say is like, we'll try and go silver in your first 30 days. I think we can all go silver in 7 days. I think that is such a doable thing. Everybody knows 3 people that they can call up and they can get to join them. But the key is putting that goal out there to them and not being afraid to say, hey, let's get you silver in 7 days, saying it and having that repetitive thing happening, having that be the way that people start this business, getting them that quick check in their hand is going to be what keeps them around. And it's going to build belief in our comp plan. It's going to build belief in themselves that they can do this. And it's going to just build belief in the products and the ability that they might actually have success with this. So your main goal when you sign somebody up is to get them a good solid paycheck in their first month, at least covering their products. I mean, at the very, very least. But that silver in 7 days is the foundation for all of that. It's the foundation for the pace that they set with themselves, and then the foundation for the pace that they duplicate down to their brand new team as well. So if they hit silver in 7 days, obviously they're going to be talking about their new ambassadors as well, doing those. So we do 3-way calls with every single person that joins our team. It's with the upline and then the next upline. So say one of my level 1 signs somebody, I'm going to be getting on a phone call with them and doing a 3-way chat, whether they're wholesale or not wholesale. We do all of the, sorry, not 3-way chat, 3-way phone call. It's an actual on the phone call. And we do that quick training within the first 24 to 48 hours after they sign up. And I think that is one of the biggest things that you can do from a time-saving perspective for yourself, and then from an onboarding perspective and from a pace perspective, because it saves you so much time over the course of that first month where you might be answering questions. If you just send them a whole barrage of emails and files and all this information and go check out these videos, all that kind of stuff, that is overwhelming, and they're probably not even going to open it. I know I never even opened, and I hate to say this, I never even opened my product instructions. I never even looked at them. So having that conversation with them and going over all that information from the first day, that is key. I mean, for wholesale ambassadors, you literally just have to go over the products, plant a few seeds about selling, about getting their products paid for, but you're just making sure they can log into their back office, they know how to start their products, they know what to expect. Setting those expectations is key, and then making sure that you understand their why and what their goals are with this. And you can tell if somebody is interested maybe in dabbling in the business, and that, you know, you get those great relationships built. They feel confident, they feel that they are supported. And of course, when somebody is a selling ambassador, that's huge, getting them on the phone right away and answering those questions and getting them up to speed and showing them that they have a support system behind them where they can get started at this quick and they don't have to know everything before they start posting about Plexus or before they start promoting it. It's really, really empowering for them. So we do those 3-way calls, we do the silver in 7 days, and we push Fast Start Gold hard. It is a huge, huge focus on our team, and it is mentioned, to my knowledge, to everybody that signs up after every single, big, like, so for instance, after the 15% off coupon ended, obviously that's a huge influx of ambassadors to your team. So that is a perfect time to bring up a Fast Start Gold video, to talk to your whole team, make posts about it, that kind of thing. But we mention it in our Monday night new ambassador training calls that we do. Every single Monday night, we have a new ambassador training call for our team that a different leader runs. And the Fast Start Gold program is detailed out in there. The silver in 7 days is in there as well. Every 3-way call, the Fast Start Gold is talked about. And we've had 14 Fast Start Golds in the last 12 months. So it works. We generally have about 1 Fast Start Gold a month on our team. And just, not being afraid to bring it up to them, because if they don't know about it, they can't achieve it. And you never know who is going to be that, like, crazy go-getter, or it's just going to explode for them. Maybe they didn't realize that it would explode. And giving them that goal of 20 and 30 days, it gets that pace going and it gets that pace high. And the more that you mention it to them, it's about that belief. If they feel that you believe in them, that they can do it, then that starts to get the wheels turning, and that support from you is what's totally necessary there too. So let's see here. So, and then of course we talk to our team and we have been talking to our team constantly about being bold with the business. We really, really focus on selling the business more than anything, and that visible, activity from leadership and everything like that. So one of the things I want to talk about too that helped us, and all of those things really, really helped me get past that Ruby, time and that attrition that I was having and everything like that. And that attrition was something I had to get ahead of, that obviously those three-way calls have, helped with and everything like that. So if you can get your team adding people, moving at a fast pace, and you can bring your attrition down because due to duplication, all of those things kind of help together. But also building a really good, solid monthly method of operation for yourself as a leader. One of the things that I do is in the first week of the month, the very first or the very last day of the month, I spend some time talking to that group of leaders that I told you guys that I have, and we plan out the next month. We figure out what the team needs for that month and everything that happens. Day one of the month, we are all road mapping with every single one of our runners, level ones. So anybody that is a level one that is running, and anyone that's like an adopted level 2 or anything like that, we are making roadmaps for them for their next rank, for their month, for everything. We goal set with them. We lay out absolutely everything that they need to do, and we give them a very detailed plan of what they need to achieve that month, who they're going to talk to on their team, who they're going to push out roadmaps to, and that kind of thing. So that is week one. Week two is basically a temperature check. We are promoting contests. We are helping people plan on how they're going to achieve contests, that kind of thing. And then week three is huge because it's a big check-in week. We check in with everybody and hold them accountable for their goals, figure out, okay, what do we need to do to get you your goals in week 4 and that kind of thing. And then one of the biggest things that we do is we, as leaders, all of us, run through our back office and check on those credit cards that have been entered and have not processed, and we reach out and we be a consultant to whoever, no matter what level it is on our team. We reach out, we make sure somebody is reaching out to them and making sure that those people are getting troubleshot with, getting their products and that kind of thing. Because the biggest thing that you have to remember in this business is that these people signed up with a purpose. Whether it was to get the products for free, they have some kind of goal in their mind with these products, whether it's weight loss or health concerns or anything like that. And if they're not taking their products on a monthly basis, that is a big red flag that they need help. And it is them screaming out for help, saying, okay, either they didn't see that it didn't process and they'll go in and order, or it's going to be an opportunity for you to have some conversations with them. And if nobody's checking in with them, that's a big deal. So in that week 3 is when we kind of we do a blanket check-in with everybody, making sure that they, those credit card issues are being resolved before the end of the month. And obviously that happens again at the end of the month. And then week 4 is that major push for accountability with your goals and everything like that. But that road mapping, you guys, it is so huge. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that just truly don't understand how to maximize our comp plan. They don't understand how to hit gold. They don't understand what silver is or anything like that. So helping them lay it out, like, look, you just need to do this, this, and this to get to gold. You need 20 people on your team to get to gold. So here's your 2-month plan to get there. That's a really, really big deal for people because they just can't visualize it. They don't understand what it's going to take and what they're going to have to do and what kind of activity they're going to have. So the bottom line with all of this is relationships are so key. The team culture that you're building is really, really key. You need to really lock arms with everybody and move everything together as one unit. It really needs to be a team, not, individuals just moving all over the place. Like, really get everybody moving forward as one. And then that pace, you have to remember that pace is set by you, and that fast pace is kind of what you're after. And so your words, the way that you run contests, the activity level that you're putting forth as a leader on your team page, all of those things go back to pace. And so, just I want to implore you guys to definitely, show up to events, show up to team calls. You guys are on a team call, so that is huge. And that's a huge, huge step in the right direction. And, showing your team that you're showing up to these kinds of things in a very visible manner is huge. And just getting off that roller coaster ride that is so easy to get on. When you miss a goal, or when you when you go through a kind of a rough time, and we've all been through those rough times, where stuff that is happening is out of your control, get off the roller coaster and just stay consistent. Do not let those downward turns affect your whole entire business. It's just not worth it. So Kendall, I don't know if you guys had any other questions. That's all I had for tonight, but
yes. I did have a little list, and I think you
Sure.
hit pretty much all of them. So I did have one though. So you talked about how you guys really kind of push the business side to people and all the business. So like, how do you approach that with people? Because I've personally always led with products, and I feel like that's kind of what I've duplicated down, because that's how I got started with it for all my health stuff. And so how do you kind of reach out to people about the business and not make it sound like the pyramid scheme that everybody thinks it is?
Right. Well, and I think the biggest thing is just being personal with them. So if you're reaching out to somebody and you're thinking, okay, say this person's on your dream team list or something like that, and you know that they would be really, really good at this business, the thing to keep in mind is that I think the stat is 65%, maybe it's even 75%. Of people go to bed concerned about finances at night. It is a big deal. So you have to remember that this type of thing can be really, really rewarding for people. And you have to not be afraid to share that, to talk about what a blessing it's been for you or for your upline or for, whoever. You have to build that kind of common ground with them and not be afraid to be bold in the fact that it works. You guys are all on this team. You know that this comp plan in action, it works, and they can get enough money. They get $200 a month for somebody is huge. When I signed up, that was game changing for us. I mean, that would pay for a bunch of our groceries, and it would have come at a big time in our lives when we needed it. So for us, that first paycheck was crazy. And so I always just share that with people. Like, I don't want people to discount this. And one thing too, I have a being bold and leading with the business, I think is what it's called, on my YouTube channel. I did a whole call on that and how to do that. So that might be something good to check out. But it really is just about sharing that passion. And I always tell everybody, passion is audible. Don't type it out. Set up a time to talk to them. And if at the very least, I can't talk, use the Facebook voicemail feature on Messenger, and you just share your passion and share your concern for them or whatever the situation might be, and let them know, this is very, very real. It's not scary. It's not a pyramid scheme, but it's a real opportunity to change your life.
Yeah. So with the three-way calls, like we've been using, we've been doing like basically three-way message chats a lot lately. And I mean, it's been great just as far as meeting all the new people and building those relationships. So the three-way calls though, like you said, that seems like a scary thing for a lot of people. And so we've tried to do that. And I'm sure a lot of it comes down to the fear of it being awkward to ask somebody to do a three-way call. It is. And so we don't call it that, like to say, hey, will you chat with my friend? But do you feel like that helps motivate people who aren't interested in the business to think about the business?
Absolutely. Our growth was so incredibly impacted by it. And not only that, but our retention as well, of those people. So I think that I think the phone call is really, really helpful. And a lot of times if we have a new sign up that's kind of giving us pushback on the actual phone call, we'll just call them up. The thing is to just don't make it a big deal. Just make it part of the process. Be like, okay, you signed up, so we're going to call you tonight and we're going to go over the products with you and make sure you don't have any questions and make sure you know what you just signed up for. It's something.
So is that how you approach it? Like, do you call new people and just tell them now that you signed up? We just get on the phone because let's go through, obviously you want to cover detox expectations and all that kind of stuff. And so
Yep.
that makes it kind of a natural way to approach doing a three-way call.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is these people are people, they want that support and they want that encouragement, and when they sign up, in that, I always push it in the first 24 to 48 hours, because to me, it's such a pivotal time, because they're excited. They just bought the products. They're excited. They just started something new. And if you can catch that excitement and you can really, really add to it, and you can add to their confidence in this and their mindset surrounding it. And, sometimes they still have some objections in the back of their head or some skepticism, about it. And if you can alleviate any of that just by sharing your story, by calming any of their fears with this, just providing that extra level of support, it's huge. And then the other thing too is that a lot of times on the phone, more stuff will come out than what did in chat on Messenger, because we'll find out that they're on other medications than what they originally told us, or that there's these extenuating circumstances that they weren't quite as open with at first. There's just something about getting on that chat, and then there's different, we talked about strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that. And there's different personality types that are going to be able to pull out different information from people, or just see things differently on the call. So that's why I love having it be a three-way call.
Okay. So my last question is more of, so if somebody is still in the building phase with their business, like what do you kind of recommend their daily action should be? And we know the standard daily IPAs of posting and reaching out and training, but is there anything else that you really focused on when you were in the building stage?
I always made sure that I was talking to at least 2 new people about Plexus a day. And so and I know that's a very standard, canned response, but it's the truth.
It's hard to do that.
It's very, very hard. And so, obviously you want to post to Facebook and do all that kind of stuff, but you want to keep that kind of self-accountability front and center, because, for instance, if I go up to ballet with my daughter or something, if I am in like a drought as far as new people, I'm going to try and spark up a new conversation. But if it's not in the front of my head, I might not bring that up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's truly, to me, the IPA, when you're in the building phase, gold is the hardest rank to hit in this company. I would think, honestly, excuse me, if you can hit gold, you can hit diamond, because the average diamond has about 20 active level 1s. I don't know if you guys realize that, but, that's the same amount that you have to get to gold. So you're building that base for your team, and that's hard. And it's generally resting on your shoulders. So it's going to take a lot of activity from you, and you're probably not going to have a whole lot of duplication at that stage too. So that early business building is really, really helping people get in the habit of lots of personal efforts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you definitely brought a lot to the table tonight. I was trying to make my whole list of everything you said and store it all so I don't forget it later. But we are so thankful that you got on here, girl. You have a lot of wisdom. I don't know if you know that, but you do. So we love hearing from you, and we'll definitely go look for more of your training calls.
Yeah, no problem. Did you want me to answer the question from Esther too?
Oh, I didn't see it. Yes.
Okay. She said, how do you respond to somebody who says they don't want to share the products and work the business until they see results themselves? I have a video that I like to send them. It's like a 2-minute video, but essentially what it says is that when you wait, people are by nature skeptical. They're by nature skeptical about the products, about the business, about everything. And so the best way to do this is to journal your experience on Facebook with Plexus. And there's nothing that's saying when you put that selfie up for your first post and saying, I can't wait to see what this does. You don't even have to say that you're selling. You just have to say that, hey, I'm trying this. This is why I want to try it. This is what I want to hope to see out of it. We'll see how it works. You don't even have to commit to saying okay, I want you to join me in this and blah, 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 blah. And the reason that you do that is because if you come out the gate with this huge, incredible weight loss story or health testimony, people are not going to believe you. If they see from day one that you're posting your selfie with your pink drink and you're like, oh, I hope this works, then they're following that journey along the way. You're going to catch people that want to join. There's going to be early adopters that jump in right away with you. There's going to be people that hear that you stopped snoring or something, and they're like, okay, sign me up. Just crazy things like that are going to draw them in, but it's so much more believable because people are so skeptical of this. So it adds so much credibility and trust with your audience if you do it from day one, and it gives such better results. And the worst that can happen, and I always tell them this, the worst that can happen is you don't have results and you quit posting about it. You're like, okay, it didn't work. You don't have to, commit to them that you're doing this. Yeah. So I mean, I have a great video that, kind of details all that out, probably in a more eloquent way than I just said it.
Do you remember what you titled it so we can find it in there?
It's called Why You Don't Wait to Post, or Don't Wait to Post. It's one of my earlier videos. I think it's at the kind of beginning of the list on my YouTube channel.
Okay, perfect. And is that something that you do a lot of, like whenever you sign a new person? I know you get on the call with them, and so I'm sure you cover a lot of this stuff with them, but are there specific videos that you make sure you send to them and like kind of give them the deadline to watch it, or do you just try to do one-on-one?
Yeah, usually it depends on the call. It's not the same for each person. I really try and make it more of a consultative thing. So if they're really, really concerned about product knowledge, I'll get them some videos from like All My Darling or something like that helps them with their product knowledge. If they're really not understanding, how to start out a network marketing business, there's different videos, it's really, really just structured towards them. The one common thread that I always send out to everybody is the Silver in 7 days. Mm-hmm. And just getting them started, from that perspective, because it's such easy, duplicatable tasks each day.
And so those are people that you, because of that one-on-one call, you've already got them at least willing to do something toward, so it's not like if you left kind of unsure, you still send it to them. You kind of make sure first. And
I'm not going to send a wholesaler Silver in 7 days, but, it totally depends on the person.
Okay. Well, does anybody else have questions for her? I don't want to cut you guys off. Sorry, Esther, I had not seen yours. No, I don't see any more on there. Well, girl, thank you for giving us, an hour of your evening. You are awesome. We really appreciate it. So,
guys, good luck. I'm excited for you guys. It sounds like you guys are doing so awesome. So I'm excited to
incredible
see how you guys grow over the next year and 2 years and 3 years. So.
Oh, yes. We'll all be there with you next year in Hawaii, right, guys? Every single one.